So another reason I believe that Paul changed it all, and a reason that I believe he is false. He talks about everything being spiritual, how the law is no longer binding, but that we are under a spiritual law, that we are to walk in the spirit and not the flesh. But if you go to Matthew 7, verse 21, it says, "Not everyone who says to me, Lord, Lord, shall enter the kingdom, but he who does the will of my Father." So the word does is an action. It's a verb. It is not a spiritual thing. And it says, "Many will say to me in that day, Lord, Lord, have we not prophesied in your name, cast out demons in your name, and done many wonders in your name? And I will declare to them, I never knew you. Away from me, you who practice lawlessness." And the word lawlessness or iniquity in the Strong's Concordance, in the actual Greek word, means to not be subject to the Jewish law. So away from me, you who do not practice the Jewish law or the law of Moses. And then if you go to Matthew 25, the judgment of the nations, I believe that these two are talking about the same event, which would also be the great white throne. You know, it talks in the Bible of there only being one judgment, except for when you come to Paul, you know, he comes up with this whole new, not a judgment, but a reward scenario where Christians are only rewarded and not judged on anything wrong that they did. They're only rewarded on what they did right. But anyways, so Matthew 25, starting in verse 31, "When the Son of Man comes in his glory and all the holy angels with him, he will sit on the throne of his glory. All the nations will be gathered together before him, and he will separate them one from another, as a sheep herd divides his sheep from the goats. He will set the sheep on his right hand and the goats on the left. Then the king will say to those on his right hand, Come, you blessed of my Father, inherit the kingdom prepared for you from the foundation of the world. For I was hungry, and you gave me food. I was thirsty, and you gave me drink. I was a stranger, and you took me in. I was naked, and you clothed me. I was sick, and you visited me. I was in prison, and you came to me. Then the righteous will answer him, saying, Lord, when did we see you hungry and feed you? When did we see you thirsty and give you a drink? When did we see you a stranger and take you in, or naked and clothe you? When did we see you sick or in prison and come to you? And the king will answer him and say to them, Assuredly I say to you, inasmuch as you did it to one of the least of these, my brethren, you did it to me. And he will also say to those on his left hand, Depart from me, you cursed, into the everlasting fire, prepared for the devil and his angels. For I was hungry, and you gave me no food. I was thirsty, and you gave me no drink." So anyway, we get the point. But something to think about is in Matthew 7, when he says, when people say, Lord, Lord, didn't we cast out demons in your name? Didn't we prophesy in your name? Do we do many wonders? All of that stuff is spiritual. And I'm not saying there's not a spiritual side to our lives and to Yahuwah and Yahusha. But what I'm saying is, you don't obey things spiritually and not physically. Like, they didn't physically do anything. And today in church, it's taught like you're not saved by what you do. You're just saved by what you believe. And you're to walk in the spirit and not in the flesh. And many people in church, you know, they are awesome people. And they do go and feed the hungry and clothe the naked. But we are going to be judged on what we physically do. It does matter. And it says, him who does the will of my Father. You know, it doesn't just say him who believes in the Son will be saved.